but to be honest, I felt very weird about some of the reactions I was seeing because there is truly no winner or anything to celebrate here.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together like we fly. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love. From your love.
Hey guys, it's briczennie. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll discuss HYBE's recent statement announcing that Kim Garam is leaving LeSSERAFIM. Before we get started, I want to thank my channel members Vermilion, Misa, and Adami aka Cozy, and my newest member Kaylin. Thank you so much for joining and supporting me and my content. I really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. And just so you guys know, for YouTube censorship purposes, I will be referring to school as SV because a lot of times when I say words like school out loud, my videos get flagged, so please bear with me. So if you're not new to my channel, you've probably seen my 2 previous videos on the Garam situation. Since my last video, I've been waiting for official news on what would come next for Garam and LesSSERAFIM. After looking into the case initially, I decided to stay neutral until HYBE resolved things with Unso and her law firm. But I think like a lot of people, the level 5 punishment from the SV committee made me extremely wary, and things just weren't looking too good for Garam in my eyes. I want to add that this level 5 punishment is out of a range from 1 to 9, with 9 being the most severe and resulting in expulsion from school. Level 5 punishments usually include some sort of physical violence. I actually found an example of a case from 2020 in which a student suffered from, quote, constant SH and assault from classmates of the same gender. The perpetrators first received the 2nd level punishment, but eventually received the 5th level punishment after the parents protested for more severe punishment. The student involved eventually passed away. It's important to note here that schools do vary on their discretion and treat incidents on a case-by-case basis. I'm not saying Garam's case was this severe because she too received a level 5 offense, but as you can see, level 5 cases can be extremely serious. In HYBE's previous statement, they claimed that Garam got the level 5 punishment from the SV committee after angrily confronting Unso, who allegedly took and posted explicit pictures of Garam's friend online. HYBE also alleged that Unso voluntarily transferred schools before the school committee could punish her as well. HYBE qualified that the confrontation was verbal and not physical. The claims against Unso are definitely serious because spreading explicit pictures of a minor online, whether the perpetrator is a minor too or not, is a serious offense and could ruin a person's life, especially a very impressionable young person. However, once I realized that Garam was still included in some of LeSSERAFIM's Japanese promotion materials, I honestly thought that HYBE would somehow settle with Unso and bring Garam back. Even though it seemed the South Korean general public had already turned their back on her. I was a bit surprised when I realized LeSSERAFIM completely reshot their YouTube series, LeSSERAFIM's Day Off, without Garam, but I figured they chose to remove her solely because she was on hiatus and they wanted to keep her out of the public eye until they settled the issue. But I was wrong. As of July 19th, HYBE and Source Music released a statement that they were terminating their contract with Garam and LeSSERAFIM will continue as 5 members. When I read the statement, I was pretty shocked. In HYBE's initial response, they seemed pretty adamant about defending Garam, even going so far as to debunk all of the claims made in the law firm statement, as well as the false rumors that were circulating online in Korean forums like Garam hit a student in the head with a flower pot, etc. So my initial thought was, what has changed since then? As outsiders looking in at the situation, we'll never know 100% what exactly happened and can only speculate, but I'll list a few of the situations that I think could have possibly occurred with this case. HYBE mentioned in their statement in response to the law firm that they had third-party individuals or witnesses that could back up Garam's story and testify in court. Could it be that these witnesses fell through somehow and HYBE didn't have enough evidence to disprove the claims against Garam? On the other hand, did HYBE have enough evidence to clear Garam's name but ultimately give up, given how negative negatively the general public already perceives Garam due to the allegations? Did they find it more business effective to let Garam go to salvage the reputation of LeSSERAFIM? We have to remember that this isn't a situation of a well-established group where a strong, dedicated fanbase has formed long-standing ties to the members. LeSSERAFIM freshly debuted, and HYBE might have gauged letting Garam go to be easier than letting the allegations follow a rookie group throughout their career and possibly undermine their potential success. Or whether she was guilty or not, was it Garam herself who decided to leave the group due to her mental health, for the well-being of the other members, or both? If you're no stranger to this case, you know how the netizens have been eating Garam alive since she was announced as a member of LeSSERAFIM due to the allegations and rumors. So I think it's quite possible that despite what HYBE had planned, Garam herself chose to walk away from the girl group. I think any of these situations are possibilities, but we'll never know unless we hear more details from the parties involved. I did want to quickly add that an anonymous netizen has surfaced online claiming to be a good friend of Garam's. At the time of writing this script, the only article I could find on this story is from All K-Pop, and it's user-created content, so take it with a grain of salt. So allegedly, this user posted her story on Instagram, and the translator here is keeping her identity anonymous for the anonymous user's well-being. In a thread of tweets translated by a user, Garam's friend claims that Unso committed SV against her for over a year. She also adds that Unso did not transfer schools because of Garam, but instead transferred because she received a level 6 punishment from the committee. There's a bit of a discrepancy here because in HYBE's statement, it seems like they claimed Unso transferred before she was punished. The anonymous user claiming to be Garam's friend says that she gave her testimony as well as testimonies from other classmates to Garam for the case, but HYBE and Source did not use her information in their statements. This individual also accuses HYBE and Source of using Garam for noise marketing or publicity and promises to release more details later. Now, I would also like to add, a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't this person come out before and defend Garam? And the reason is, if HYBE promised to use this witness's testimony in the case or for their statements or for any legal proceedings, obviously this individual would have to keep silent about the issue legally because releasing the information to the public could possibly undermine the case in some way. Now that Garam was let go from HYBE, I'm guessing now this user is able to speak legally. Now, once again, this is an anonymous user who is making these statements. So because the user is anonymous, we can say that the validity of their statement is questionable. We don't know who this person is, what their identity is, etc. But the most important piece of information we can draw from this statement is this individual's claim that Unso was also punished and was given a level 6 disposition. So is this true? Who knows, but I've seen people using these allegations to argue Garam's innocence. I would like to point out that even if Unso is guilty of taking and spreading the pictures of the minor and isn't innocent in this situation, Garam was also punished for whatever she did. Regardless of exactly what happened, I will say that HYBE and Source Music dropped the ball with this. I find it extremely hard to believe that they had no idea that Garam had a level 5 offense on her record, since companies do background checks on their potential trainees. I think it's more likely that HYBE thought Garam's record wouldn't be discovered for some reason, or they would be able to mitigate the issue if it was ever brought to light. If HYBE would have communicated with Unso's law firm when they initially reached out to settle, I feel that this entire debacle could have been avoided, and perhaps Garam would still be a member of LeSSERAFIM today. However, knowing how the South Korean general public views SV, debuting Garam in the first place was extremely risky. Much of the Korean public feels that if your past isn't, quote, clean for the most part, you should not have the opportunity to be an idol or celebrity, because in a sense, you're expected to be a role model to society. On top of that, SV is a serious issue in South Korea. This is why Garam's case blew up as it did in the country, especially because she is so young, had just debuted, and on top of that, debuted in such a big, well-known company like HYBE. Next, I want to respond to some of the reactions I've seen from the K-pop fandom online. As soon as the news about Garam broke, Twitter was in a frenzy and Garam began to trend. People wasted no time making memes, and I saw a lot of fans celebrating and joking. Now, don't get me wrong, I know SV is an extremely serious topic, and some people who have suffered from it themselves might have felt happy or relieved that Garam was punished for what she did if she is guilty of these accusations. And we also need to add the fact in that this is a level 5 punishment, so that's telling us guess that whatever happened is probably pretty severe. But to be honest, I felt very weird about some of the reactions I was seeing because there is truly no winner or anything to celebrate here. SV is wrong and shouldn't be condoned in any shape or form, but I just can't get behind the idea of celebrating anyone's downfall, especially a minor's. I mean, you can be happy that the situation was resolved and that LeSSERAFIM can move on as a group, but celebrating Garam's downfall, like I said, is just not right. So in my opinion, this is just a really sad situation from every angle. Yes, something took place between Garam and Unso for Garam to get a level 5 punishment, but this doesn't justify the hate comments I've seen online. Criticism and stating your opinion on Garam or the case is totally okay, but if you're one of the people cyber Garam online or sending death threats, you're a hypocrite and you're no different than the perpetrators of SV that you claim to despise so much. At the end of the day, Garam is a minor who seems to have really messed up. Whether she was defending her friend's honor or not, it wasn't a smart decision to take given that she wanted to enter the entertainment business. As harsh as it may seem, especially for a minor, if you want to become a K-pop idol, you have to be extremely careful while in school. If you mistreat anyone, even if it's just a mutual confrontation or even a misunderstanding, it's most likely going to come back and bite you in some way once you debut. However, due to Garam's actions pre-debut, coupled with how HYBE fumbled the ball by not settling things with Unso pre-debut, ultimately causing the case to become a public spectacle, I really doubt Garam will be able to pursue a career in the entertainment industry in the future. I've seen a lot of people online criticizing HYBE's statement and admonishing them for not explaining exactly what happened. Is Garam guilty or innocent? Did Unso do what Garam claimed she did? However, I think people are failing to realize that further explaining the case is probably not in HYBE's best interest. Even if HYBE investigated further and discovered that Garam was more in the wrong than in the right, admitting that publicly in their statement would be like saying, yeah, we didn't do our due diligence in clearing this girl who debuted. From a business standpoint, since she is leaving HYBE and they no longer represent her, HYBE has no reason to defend or clear Garam's name to the public in my opinion. On the other hand, maybe although HYBE let Garam go, they're taking legal action against Unso and the other users who accused Garam online to recoup what they invested in her. Maybe HYBE is staying silent due to the legal proceedings that are still ongoing. Or on the other hand, maybe Garam is suing the accusers for defamation herself, so HYBE is refraining to comment further. Who knows? So in short, that's my take on the entire Garam situation. Unso and Garam and all of the other parties involved in this case will definitely have some healing to do, and ultimately, I see why HYBE made the decision that they did. No matter the truth of what happened between Unso and Garam, due to the public backlash and spectacle, I truly believe that HYBE decided that Garam's reputation was truly irreparable, and it would be best for LeSSERAFIM to continue without her. So, what are your thoughts on the situation? Do you think HYBE terminated Garam's contract for the well-being of LeSSERAFIM? Do you think Garam herself chose to walk away? What do you think truly happened between Garam and Unso? And were you surprised about the news that Garam was parting ways with the girl group? Did Garam deserve to lose her chance with LeSSERAFIM because of what she did? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'd also suggest you join my Discord server. It's a fun, safe space where you can just chill and talk about K-pop, as well as play games and join weekly events. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.